If we have a circle like this, where the center here, I'm going to call the center, give it the coordinate h, comma, k. Notice h is the x value, k is the y value. And the radius of that circle is r. That's from the center to the edge of it, r. The standard equation of a circle, the form for that is, anyone knows?
Pi r squared.
Well, that's the area. It's x minus h squared, if you're trying to find the name of it, plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That is the standard form or standard equation of a circle. So if I know, for example, I have a circle that passes through, let's take this one here. I'll make another one. And let's say my circle happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. This is my circle. And I'm looking for the name of that equation that described that circle. I need two things. I need to know where the center of the circle is and what the radius is. Where's my center? Right here, which is 2 comma 0. And what is the radius? What's the distance from here to here? 2. Looking at that picture, that's a 2. So this circle will have a name, x minus, h is the first number, x minus 2 squared plus y minus k, k is the second number, which is what? 0 squared equals what? 2 squared. That is the standard equation of a circle. So you'll have x minus 2 squared plus y squared equals, what's 2 squared? 4. So a lot of times people want to continue with that, and you go, I got to FOIL this one. You have something square. Don't just square the first and the second. You have to use the FOIL method. It's x minus 2 times x minus 2. So you're going to have what? X squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared equals 4. If you move everything to one side, you'll have what? X squared plus y squared minus 4x equals to 0. Now, if I gave you this, you'll never know that's an equation of a circle. That you might know, because that looks like that form. But this one, that's tough. Don't worry, before you leave this or tonight actually, in about 20 minutes, we'll show you can go from this to this. We can. But I can look at it and tell you that's a circle. How would I know that's a circle? Notice both x and y are squared. See them? That's one condition. There's 3 conditions must be satisfied for it to be a circle. Both of these guys are squared. Yes. The coefficient for both of them must be the same. It doesn't have to be 1, but it must be the same. Because if the coefficient is 4 for both of them, guess what? Divide everything by 4. And what's the third one? The sign must be the same. They both must be positive or negative. Because if they're both negative, you can divide by -1. So you want them both to have the same sign, the same coefficient, and both x and y must be squared. You'll see actually between this class and the next video, the next class, I'm going to change that. In the next example, only one of them is going to be squared. That's a parabola. The next one, both going to be squared, but with different numbers, and both positive. That's an ellipse. Both will be squared, different or the same number, but the signs are different. That's hyperbola. That's how you know what each one is. So let's take some examples and go through them. Stay together here. So I'm going to give you a problem, ask you to graph it. Here we go. Can you graph x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals to what? 16. Can you show me what the graph of that looks like? Well, let me put the standard form for it. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. I said, if you can put it in this form, then your center is where? At h comma k. And the radius is r. Well, let's look at this. That doesn't look like this yet. Well, the first piece is good. This is good, the first one. So I see the x minus 1. Oh, wait a minute. This is a plus. I want it to be a minus. So what can I do to make it a minus? How about y minus what? Negative 2. And the 16 is what? Can you write that something squared? 4 squared. When you compare the two of them now, what is h equal to? Look up and down. H must be what?
1.
Not negative. 1. Because you have the x, you have the minus, h is 1. K must be what? Negative 2. And r must be what? 4. So now you have the center. The center always at h comma k. And the radius is 4. So let's graph it. One and negative 2. That's where my center is. Now the radius is 4. Okay. Let's go 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another point. Let's go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your graph is that's your circle. Has a center of 1 and negative 2. That's this center here. Is that music? Got loud. I hope that's not in his ear there. And the radius is 4. The distance from the center to any point is 4. So I usually go left, right, up, and down. That'll give me 4 points. I should be able to graph it with these 4 points. I can cheat because I have actually, I never used it. I know I have it. I saved it for that reason. Still in the box here, that plastic sheet. For the next example, I'll do that. I'll measure the 4 from the center here, and I'll just throw it. And it will look beautiful. Oh, look at this. I wasn't that far, actually. Oh, stay there. Never mind. Oh, never mind. What a cheap little thing. You know, I get it free. You know the saying, you get what you pay for? There we go.
I think yours look better.
I agree with you there. So that's the graph of that one. The center is not, the common mistake we want to say the center is negative 1 and 2. No, it's always, you want that sign to be minus, so it's 1 and negative 2. So when it's minus, that number is positive. When it's positive, that number is negative. Let's try another one. I'll do another graph there. Graph the circle. I'm telling you it's a circle. X plus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. Again, the form I'm trying to match is what? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That is the standard form for a circle. And when you get in that form, your center is at h comma k. And you know what r is, and you can graph it. So let's make this one look like this. So instead of plus, I'm going to make that x minus what? Negative 3. Y minus 2 squared. And the 25 will be what? 5 squared. So what is h here when you compare the two of them? Negative 3. And what's k equal to? Plus 2 and r equals 5. My center where? Negative 3 comma 2. Negative 3 comma 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's the center. My radius is what? 5? Let's go 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 point. 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can try to graph it now. Missed it by a hair. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, my scale's off, I guess. Yowza. I guess I should use a scale, huh? You didn't see that. There we go. Beautiful, look at that. If you use a graph paper, you will actually get it on the money then. You know. So that's the center again, negative 3 comma 2. Question? You okay? Okay. Here's the problem. Let's try this question. Ready for this? Graph the circle. I'm telling you it's a circle. X squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 8y minus 24 is equal to 0. And I know you're looking at this, that does not look like a circle. If somehow I can change it to make it look, I'm leaving a space, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, then I can graph it. But right now that doesn't look anything like this. How can I change this one from that look to this look? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move the negative 24 to the right side. Just make it easy on me. Let me cover this now. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the x's next to each other. Here's the negative 6x. I'm leaving a space. Leave a space. I'll explain why I'm leaving a space. Plus y squared plus 8y. I'm putting the x's next to each other, the y's next to each other with the space between them. When I take the negative 24 to that side, it becomes what? Positive 24. I'm going to group the x's together. Here we go. Group the y's together for now. Now, what you want to do, and that's the rule, by the way, it's called complete the square. Some of you are probably familiar with it. Take the negative 6 divided by 2 and square it. What's a negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3 square it, which is what? 9. Let me add 9 to this side, and let me go to this side and add 9. I'm also going to do the same thing with the plus 8y. Take the plus 8 divided by 2 and square it. What do we have? Plus 4 square it, which is what? 16. Add 16 to this side and add 16 to that side. Now factor this. How do you factor x squared minus 6x plus 9? Isn't that x minus 3 times x minus 3? Which is x minus 3 squared. Factor this. Y plus 4 times y plus 4. (24), 16, and 9, that's 49. Now can I graph it? I'm close to that form. So now if you try to match it with this, that's what? X minus 3 squared plus y minus a negative 4 squared equals 7 squared. H equals what? 3. K equals negative 4. That means the center where? 3 and negative 4. And what's the radius? 7. Three and negative 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my center. Go 7 each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let me graph it. Let's see how horrible I was. I knew that one the spacing was way bigger. And that's mine. So fudge it again. Voila. And voila, right here. And this is the graph of my circle. So by completing the square, we manage. By the way, if you're not good at factoring, I left it intentionally. You see that number? Look what this one. See what that number is? Y plus 4, always. So even if you're not good at factoring, it's really done for you. Just take that number and drop it here. Take that number and drop it there. And now you get in the right format. That's how we find, or we graph a circle when they give it to you like this. You can only use this method when that number is a 1. So if it's not a 1, if that was a 5 and that's a 5, then you divide every one of them by 5. If these were 2s, then you divide these guys, then you divide every one by 2 to make it a 1. Because to complete the square, you divide it by 2 and square it if that number is a 1. If it's not, then we're going to do some other stuff to it. But you can just divide them by 1, make life easy. Otherwise, if you factor a number, you're going to multiply by, if there was a number in the front like 3, when you add a 9, you go, well, I didn't add a 9. 3 times the 9, which is 27. So this is much better.